Yes, indeed. It's the WWE Bash in Berlin post-show. What was your match of the night? How do you rate this pay-per-view? WWE in Berlin, Ringside Report Network is live. Start. Yes, indeed. Where is he? There he is. Big Johnny North is here. We are live on the Ringside Report Network. Welcome to the show on a Saturday afternoon. We just saw WWE's Bash in Berlin. And I don't know about you, John. It felt kind of flat. It was kind of, it just happened. We went into the show. We predicted the show last night. We picked all the same matches. We didn't disagree on any of them. And we were right about all of them. It was kind of a nothing show. Nothing really happened. Nothing really advanced. It was an afternoon glorified house show for the German crowd. It didn't feel like a big event. The main event felt like a big deal because of the reactions from the crowd, but everything else just didn't hit the mark for me. I wasn't offended by anything on the show. I didn't think anything was particularly bad, but it just felt very predictable, very going through the motions. Nothing outrageous, nothing outstanding. Didn't love Bash in Berlin this afternoon. Wasn't great. What do you think?
I thought it started off very well. I thought the first three matches, I'm like, well, this is a great start. And then you're like, well, you have two matches left. I'm like, this is flowing by pretty good. And then those two matches happen. I'm like, no, this feels like I'm watching Raw, pretty much. I mean, no disrespect to the main event. I thought the main event was very good for what it was. But like you said, it felt like it was going through the motions. If you've seen one Randy match, you kind of know how that was all going to turn out. It's turned out pretty much how you expected it. He didn't win, but we didn't expect that. So that's kind of how you thought it would go in the end. Again, solid, but nothing like amazing. I don't think it's something we'll be talking about months and months from now. Just a show that happened. I think it was good for them, good for WWE because they made a lot of money. The highest grossing events for an arena in history. I can only imagine the ticket prices for that. That must have been insane.
Uh-huh. That's all that means. I don't know why we're supposed to celebrate WWE charging more than ever for tickets.
It's a big deal for them that fans will show up. Good for them. Fans will show up and pay crazy prices for tickets.
Yeah, because they're going to markets that are starved for anything. So if you give them a show when they haven't had a show in 27 years, like if I was living in a market where I haven't had a Raw, Smackdown, pay-per-view, nothing for 27 years, I'd be willing to pay $500 for a seat in the nosebleeds because it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So no wonder they're generating their biggest gates ever in an arena in these European markets. It's the first time they're doing anything for these people since the 90s. Do it again next year. Do it again in 6 months. See how that works for you. Keep coming back. Keep coming back with this type of show and see if the ticket sales stay where they're at. Ask AEW about that. Wembley Arena or Wembley Stadium last year, 80,000 or whatever it was. This year, 50,000. Next year, they're not doing the stadium. So, whatever. First of all, they're charging ridiculous prices for these starved markets. Second of all, it's a starved market, so of course they're going to go and they're going to pay whatever. Why am I supposed to be impressed by that? It's kind of rude to the people. We never come here. We're going to give you one show and we're going to charge you $1,000 to sit in the mid-range section. Ringside is €15,000. Oh, look at the gate. I'm doing such a good job. Like, what? I'm not impressed. I see through the nonsense that they're trying to put out there, the propaganda. Come on. Right? I'm not wrong, John. You know I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong. It's just amazing with the card they put out. Because, again, 5 matches. You're not even putting out more than even close to half of what you could put out there. You're not even putting out your best show, not even close.
Yeah.
Yep. Like you said, just because it's been for so long, they can pull this off. And in the end, like, we get a show where it's like, okay, it's something. I feel like 1 or 2 things happened, and that was about it. It didn't really change the course of anything so much. It was more of a pit stop. And now we move on. I mean, it was a good moment for a lot of people. Gunther, cool moment. Kaiser, cool moment. I thought this was a great place for Punk and McIntyre. I thought we finally needed that match, and we finally got it. That was the match we needed, so we can move on. Besides that, everything else, it just felt like we've seen it before, or we'll see it again in the future. Nothing really out of the ordinary.
Cody Rhodes beats Kevin Owens to retain the WWE title. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill beat Fire and Dawn to win back the women's tag belts. CM Punk beats Drew McIntyre in the strap match. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley beat Dirty Dom and Liv Morgan. And Gunther retains the World Heavyweight title in the main event over Randy Orton. 6 on 10 for me, John. Not a strong effort from the WWE. Just kind of boring, quite frankly. You know, I thought the Punk match was good. I thought Cody and Kevin was good. I thought Gunther and Randy could have been like 10 minutes shorter than it was. It wound up being 34 minutes. It was too long. It dragged on and on. I couldn't believe how long it was going. They had some good stuff in the match. We'll break them all down in a minute, but I'd had enough of it by the end. I was good. And the other matches, like the women's tag and the mixed tag, were not anything special at all. So 6 on 10 for me. I was not a big fan of this show. It was just, happening. Nothing was progressing. Like even with Cody and Kevin, where they did all the drama in their match, at the end, when Cody beats Kevin by hitting him with his finisher, Cody and Kevin hug. Kevin raises Cody's arm. Kevin seems a little upset, but he's still outwardly friends and friendly with Cody. There's no turn. So in the end, they're in the exact same position they were before the match. They're friends, but there's maybe like a minor underlying issue that Kevin's not really addressing. It's the same thing. They haven't changed where they're at. They just had the match. And in the end, Kevin kind of feels the same way about Cody. Cody feels the same way about Kevin. And Cody's still champion. Nothing really changed. Other than Bianca and Jade winning back the women's tag belts. But, who cares? Punk beat Drew, so he evened up his series with Drew. That's kind of something. Priest and Rhea got some revenge by beating Dominic and Liv, but, And then Gunther beats Randy Orton, which is a nice win for Gunther. It's a nice moment for Gunther in his home and all the people loving him and the crowd hot for him. But at the end of the day, Randy just goes back to SmackDown, and like I was saying last night, like he could easily just insert himself back into whatever Cody and Kevin Owens are doing because he was involved with them before doing this excursion to Monday Night Raw to have a month-long program with Gunther. So Gunther gets a nice win, but over a guy who's not on his radar, not on his TV show. And Randy takes a loss, but to a guy, again, not on his radar, not on his TV show. And isn't really hurt by the loss because, he goes on to SmackDown, still a top guy. And Gunther's just still champion. Nothing changed on this show. And the matches weren't spectacular. We'll get to the match of the card or the night, whatever you want to call it here in a second. But for me, Johnny, it's a 6 on 10. What do you think?
Well, I'll go 7 because the only difference with you, I found the women's tag match was actually very good. I think it was one of the best Bianca Jade tag matches I've seen. To me, it shows like great improvement. And Fire and Dawn too. It felt like they've probably done that match a bit more on like live events, and I think they've gotten better chemistry now. To me, it shows like drastic improvement from the last time we saw them at Clash of the Castle. It felt like there was just more of a flow to the match. Again, not perfect. Of course, it's not going to be like the smoothest thing in the world, but much better than it was in the past. So I'd give overall 7 on 10 the show.
0 heat. That match had no heat.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not going to deny that, but I thought the work was good. The crowd just wasn't into that, sadly.
Crowd wasn't into it, and it felt like there was no real heat between the two teams. Like they didn't seem to, have that animosity. There was no intensity. They were doing moves, but there was something lacking in the intensity department.
I think a huge problem is the fact Fire and Dawn, they never really got over, I think. They were kind of just given the titles instead of truly like established as a force. And even this whole feud with Jay and Bianca, it's kind of like, oh, we're doing this stuff on Raw, and then sometimes we'll feud with them, and we'll have Blair Davenport, who wasn't there at all. So they didn't continue that part of the story whatsoever. It's just straight up tag. So I felt like that was a little incomplete. They didn't seem to care too much. So they just wanted to get this done out of the way. They did that. And again, like, they're not the most experienced, I find. So that's why maybe there wasn't enough crowd work involved. There should have been a bit more.
Yeah, that match was not great. Jade and Bianca take the tag team titles back. And Fire and Dawn drop them after 2.5 months. There it is.
Well, they said they had a great title reign, though. WWE will just say, oh, that was a great title reign. Even though, like, you see through it. They have their nice propaganda for it. So
that's nice that they say they had a great title reign. It wasn't great. There wasn't much to it. They won the belts. They lost the belts. That was their title reign.
Pretty much. I think they had 2 other like small feuds, whatever, on Raw and NXT, and that was about it.
Uh-huh.
But you're not wrong.
Weak. So 6 on 10 for me, 7 on 10 for you. Ryan Katz giving it a 7 on 10. Doug Hepburn dropping in. He says, hey, Peeps, I thought it was a better than a glorified house show, but absolutely 0 results surprised me. 7 on 10. As always, a European crowd stole the show. Yeah, for sure. European crowd was, the star of this show. Ray Cruz, member of the team over at join.ringsidereport.net. He says 5 on 10. So we're getting a variety, 5, 6s, and 7s. I'm giving it a 6. I'm seeing 7s in the chat, 5s in the chat, and Johnny giving it a 7 as well. Match of the show, Johnny? What do you think? Kevin and Cody? I think it's between Kevin and Cody or Punk and Drew, right?
I saw that comment too. I think it was Ryan Katz who said it was either between those 2 matches. I agree.
Did he say that too?
I think he said it too, between those 2.
Oh, yeah.
Like I agree with that statement. I'd go more with the strap match because I felt like we got more of a conclusion with that. Punk got the bracelet back as well. So I like more of the ending towards that where Kevin and Cody, it's like you were kind of left unfulfilled, I find, at the end of that.
I like the story that was told in the Kevin and Cody match more than the Punk and Drew match. I thought the Kevin and Cody match had a little bit more to it. The Punk and Drew match, it had a couple moves here and there. A lot of focus on pulling guys, away from the corner. All that kind of game takes away from a lot of the wrestling, I find. That bump that Punk took when he was dumped out of the ring over the top rope through a table was pretty nasty.
It was fun.
Match was good, right? Match was
I
good.
thought
Punk's
this
body
match,
held up too.
He seemed okay. They didn't have as good of the strap matches I've had, but it was still very good.
But I didn't love the finish, John. Punk touching the three corners, hitting the GTS, taking the bracelet back, and then hitting the fourth corner. Like, just all the focus on the bracelet. I feel like it's a little too silly, and I'm over it. And I don't like all the bracelet stuff. It's like you're a grown man. You're fighting over beads. It's stupid. So I preferred the story told in the Kevin and Cody match, and that's why I'm giving it the edge for match of the night. I thought Punk and Drew had a good match. I thought Kevin and Cody had a good match. I thought they had the two best matches on the card. I just liked what Cody and Kevin did a little bit more. A lot of kicking out of each other's finishers. Kevin kicking out of a crossroads. The first one took 4 eventually to take Kevin Owens down. Cody went to the top rope at one point and his knee buckled and he fell down. And Kevin had the opportunity to hit a chop block on Cody, but he didn't take it. And then he was outside the ring and he had the opportunity to powerbomb Cody on the apron, but he didn't do it. He didn't want to do it that way. He didn't want to beat him in a cheap fashion. He wanted to beat him clean in the middle of the ring without taking advantage of any injuries. Kevin did say to Cody last night on SmackDown, hey, you're hurt. I know you're hurt. You have a hurt knee. And Cody kept saying, no, I don't. But clearly in the match, Cody was lying. He did have a hurt knee. But Kevin didn't capitalize, which probably cost him the WWE Championship. So I liked the story that was told there that continued from the promo with the knee and all of that. Kevin hit a stunner for a 2 count, Cody kicking out there. Cody then hit 2 crossroads, but Kevin countering the third, hitting another stunner, Cody kicking out again. Kevin went for the swanton, but Cody got his knees up, hitting Kevin in the back as he fell. Then Cody hit another crossroads, the 4th of the match, for the pinfall to retain the WWE Championship. That opened the show, and I thought it was the strongest match on the show. Cody and Kevin have great chemistry. The match was really good. I like those guys. And, there was a story told in the match. And after the match, are they still going to be friends? That was a big question. And yes, the answer is yes. They hugged, and Kevin held Cody's arm up in the air in celebration. So I don't think it's over between those two. I think it's just one chapter in their story, wherever that is going to go. But I liked it. And I think, it kind of teases something else in the future. Whether it's in the immediate future or in the distant future, I'm not sure. But I think they planted seeds for something here. It was not bad.
Well, Mike Cole mentioned that Solo is next, though, for Cody.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's going to be a Bad Blood.
Yeah. I think so. But after that, who knows?
Well, after that's War Games, right? Or is it Saudi Arabia next? I'm not sure.
I should be able to tell you here in a second. So Bad Blood is October 5th in Atlanta, Georgia. That is the next WWE show, PLE. They don't have anything in September, which is unusual. They do have a Crown Jewel, November the 2nd in Saudi Arabia. I think they'll also have is this where they're doing SmackDown and Raw? Or maybe a SmackDown or something in Saudi the night before, possibly?
I'd hope SmackDown. Or maybe they'll tape SmackDown like they've done in the past, possibly.
No, I think they're going to do SmackDown in Saudi Arabia the night before the Crown Jewel. So Crown Jewel, November 2nd. Survivor Series War Games, November 30th in Vancouver.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. They're in Edmonton next Friday, by the way. And then Monday, not this Monday, but the following Monday, they'll be in Calgary.
Yes. I know. I'm aware, John.
Yeah.
I've got a calendar in front of me that tells me where they're going. You know that. I know where they're going. I've got the calendar in front of me. You know that they'll be in Denver on Monday for Raw, and it will be a lackluster Raw because the brothers and sisters on the road will be super tired from all the travel. Berlin on Saturday, Denver on Monday means a very slow-moving Monday Night Raw, and I don't blame anybody for it. Tough.
It's good having a big roster. I mean, a lot of people didn't see wrestle, so a lot of them shouldn't be that bad off. Though I'm sure they wrestled a lot during this whole tour that they just did.
I mean, Gunther came into the match with Randy with his chest bruised and cut already. Must have been from that Ilya Dragunov dark match he had last night, right? Looked
Right.
like fresh cuts and bruises from chops.
Well, that's awesome. That just because it's a dark match, he didn't hold back. Like he gave the crowd obviously a good show, and like he took stuff too. So that's kind of awesome that he did that. Because I'm sure, like in the past, we've seen it in the past in dark matches. Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton. Not much of anything happens in those kind of matches, but clearly Gunther gave the crowd in Germany something.
Fighting champion, right? Fighting champion. So
That's
your
good to
match
see.
of the night, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. My match of the night, Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. Ray Cruz says match of the night, Owens versus Cody. Only because I didn't quite understand the rules of Drew versus Punk. At one point, Drew tapped all three corners, and then the light went off, and he had to restart.
Yeah, they messed the lights up a couple of times. That's not the wrestler's fault. That's the technical issues.
I don't know why they had lights.
I
Used to be a
guess
bell.
I think it's because some people don't understand the whole idea of the match. It's been a while since we've seen a strap match, right, in WWE. So I guess they felt the lights would help with people like that don't understand it. That the lights have to all go on. I don't agree with it, but that's I guess their philosophy with it. I think they did the same thing in the Eddie Guerrero JBL match as well. JBL won the title.
They had lights?
I think they had lights. Yeah.
I remember bells. Doug Hepburn says, agree with Dave with the Punk Drew ending. He says his match of the night was Gunther. He really thought Randy was enjoying himself, and he loved that. Randy definitely enjoyed the crowd. They were loud and singing their songs. That was fun. Especially at the beginning of the match, they were going nuts. It was great.
I enjoyed it, but I agree with you. I think it was maybe 10 minutes, like it's 34 minutes. We really didn't need 34 minutes. 24 minutes, to be honest, is more than long enough. 34 plus entrances, too, because Randy definitely took his time on that entrance. So that's more like 40 minutes, really, to get through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Long.
What gets me about Randy, especially in some of these long matches, is that he really takes his time. He really milks it, but it's like he over milks it sometimes. Like he'll hit a move. He'll hit a move on offense and then just sell for a while and then start to get up. And it's like, dude, move. Do
Stairs.
something.
It was like move one part of the stairs, have a little thing with Gunther, then move the other part of the stairs.
Oh.
Like everything's at a snail pace. Like it's so slow.
It was
Doesn't need to
hard
be
to
that
stay
slow.
awake for this thing. It was like, oh my God. Get to it. Just do it already. Like, man. So slow. Is he slower now that he's older? Like, what's happening? It was such a slow match. I had trouble with this match, man. It wasn't like Gunther hitting him hard either, which, if you take that away from Gunther, he had a couple chops that were nasty, but...
Yeah, back chops, too.
Yeah, but not a ton,
No.
And that's when he shines, when he can really chop the hell out of somebody. Randy's not that type of physical wrestler.
It's a good win for Gunther. Good, great that he got to one in Berlin like that. It's fantastic. So now he moves on and bigger challenges, hopefully. Well, I don't know about bigger challenges, but he gets to move on with his title reign, and we'll see what happens with it. We'll see what he can make of it.
Randy Orton slowly, methodically working Gunther's arm during this match. Whew. Jeez. Gunther kicking out of an RKO. Gunther surviving a Like a suplex through the announce table off the top of the stairs.
He actually hit it for once. It actually broke the table. He never breaks the table, so it finally broke it.
Well, he hit it earlier just from the ground.
Right.
And it didn't break the table. But then he went up to the top of the stairs with him later in the match. Same move, broke the table. The match was so long he did it twice. And there was a long gap of time between the first table bump and the table break.
Probably 10, 15 minutes at least.
Yeah. Which says a lot about the match. Gunther and Randy shook hands after the match. Gunther delivered a promo in German after the match for the crowd. He seemed very emotional. So it was nice. It was a nice moment for Gunther. I'm happy for Gunther. Just thought the match was a little long. It dragged a little much. Randy on offense sometimes is a little boring. So, there's that. Punk beats Drew. It's John's match of the night. Match of the night is split. Mine was Cody and Kevin Owens. What else happened here? Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest beat Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. JD McDonuts and Carlito showed up for some interference. Rhea went after Carlito at one point, and Liv Morgan hit a sunset flip powerbomb off the stairs into the barricade that was devastating. Like, that was the move of the match.
I didn't like the setup. Setup looked bad.
What do you mean?
Because Rhea had to duck for it.
Oh,
like, she was, like, standing up straight, and then she just like, oh, well, I'll just duck for this. Like, that kind of looks stupid. And you showed her on the replay, too. Like, she's just standing up perfectly fine. And then for out of nowhere, oh, I'll just duck. And then, boom, takes a move. Like, that looked bad.
It, it wasn't great. The bump was, like, rough, though. It looked painful when she hit.
Oh, they had good ideas. I thought Liv had some good ideas, but I think as a champion, though, she didn't look very strong in this match. Like, this was practically an elaborate squash. They pretty much got demolished pretty much the whole match. This wasn't much of anything, really. This was just Damian and, like, Rhea destroying them. And then there's a little bit of a thing, but destroy them right away. And then the interference. Okay, there's one near fall. But come on, of course they're going to kick out of that because that's the only thing you had throughout the whole match. And then just destroy them at the end. I mean, there was never any true doubt besides maybe the interference. But even then, they didn't do enough where it's like, oh, this could go for the Judgment Day.
Yeah, the whole time, Priest and Dominic were in the ring together. It felt like, oh, Priest is just squashing Dominic. Dominic has no chance. He'll never get on offense, right? Which is understandable. But then when Rhea and Liv were in the ring together, it was the same deal. It was like, oh, Rhea is just squashing Liv. Liv has no chance. It's just like Dominic and Damian, except Liv Morgan happens to be the women's champion. It was odd the way the match was booked, where Liv was just as much of a jabroni as Dominic. And even with interference from JD McDonuts and Carlito, and even Finn Balor when the ref's back was turned, hitting the sling blade on Damian Priest, Priest and Rhea still won. 5-on-2, like Doug Hepburn is saying. He says it was 5-on-2 in the mixed tag match. Too ridiculous. He says it was nice to see Ripley and Priest dominate the match, though, but, I mean, it was a bit much. It was a bit much, and especially given the fact that Liv Morgan's supposed to be the champion, and she got, like, 0 offense in on Rhea Ripley. Nothing.
Well, she hit a couple of cool spots. She hit one like little flipping like kind of pin thing. That looked good. But it's like that's it. You got that, then you got destroyed. Then she hit some sort of weird like variation, like Oblivion Codebreaker thing, which I have no idea what. Even Mike Cole said, I don't know what the heck that was. But she hit that move and then gets killed. Like That was the problem. All she hit was spots. She didn't hit anything like she didn't have offense that was like long standing. And never at one point was like Rhea in danger really that much.
Never. It was just once in a while, Liv would like hit a move from out of nowhere, and then Rhea would pop back up and beat up Liv for more. It wasn't a great match, you know. We weren't expecting it to be great, but man, it was just, Judgment Day interference, and in the end, it didn't work. It felt like Raw.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Nothing special about this one. Just another match that happened on the show. That's how this whole card felt, John.
And that's the problem with these kind of shows where it's like, it feels like we're not getting much of anything, sadly, because they're so short.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the problem. Like, everyone's like, AEW is too long, WWE's too short. No one has that happy medium right now.
Well, 3 hours, I think, is enough. It's a long enough show, John. I don't think it's the length of the show that's the problem. It's what they put on it.
Well, they drag out these 5 matches. Like we've said in the past, like 34 minutes, it didn't need to be that long. And I honestly don't think that probably the women's tag could have been a bit shorter. I think a lot of things could have been shorter, and you could have put some more matches on. It would have been a better show, I think, in the end. If there was something more intriguing on there. If things are happening.
You could actually build to it where the results matter.
Right, yeah.
That helps. If you're supposed to be watching a special event, premium live event, the results are supposed to matter. You're supposed to go into the show going, gee, I don't know if this guy's going to win or the other guy's going to win. I'm not sure. And then you can't wait to find out when you watch the match. You're not supposed to be able to predict all the matches on the card, and then when you see them play out exactly as you predicted, you go, yeah, all right. Fine. Cool. Like, All In. I'm sure I predicted a bunch of them wrong, right?
I mean, it's harder. It's hard to predict those. But yeah, first match in, wrong. I'm like, damn.
Was I? I don't even remember.
We were both wrong. Remember? We didn't have Pac and Claudio and Wheeler winning the first match. They won the first match.
Yeah. We didn't have Christian winning that Casino Battle Royal, I'll tell you that much. Or Casino whatever.
Like things like that will happen in AEW. Like,
yeah.
You got give them that. Like, they can throw you off with predictions for sure. They're good at that.
They're good. And they also give you matches where you go into their pay-per-views thinking, oof, I don't know who's going to win. Like, Swerve and Hangman in the cage. Who's going to win?
I mean, we're thinking Hangman, but it's not impossible that Swerve could win.
Not only is it a better story, not only are you more kind of on the fence about who's going to win that match or whatever, the winner of the match, whoever wins, whatever the result is going to be, is going to have an impact on what happens in the future between those two for both their careers. The match is going to be kick-ass. It's probably going to be better than any match we saw tonight on this Bash at the Beach, Berlin. Like, these days AEW's doing it better than the WWE. They're showing WWE how to do big shows, big events. That All In show was fantastic. This show was garbage. And I think, even if they did All In last week, All Out next week is going to be better than this Bash in Berlin.
Well, we'll wait and see. I mean, that's hard for AEW if failed to come back 2 weeks in a row with good pay-per-views. That's going to be a real test. So we'll wait and see on that one. I mean, they might be able to.
They may not make as much money from it as WWE made from this show, but critically, content-wise, I think they're going to put on a better product. Because this product today was flat as hell, and the booking leading up to it was pretty weak. People want to talk about how brilliant Triple H is with all his booking. I mean, long-term booking he's pretty good at. Like the WrestleMania stuff, all that led up to it and everything, it worked out. The big show, when you could get The Rock in there, the big events, yeah, it worked out. But on a week-to-week basis since WrestleMania, A lot of the booking has been kind of like, well, okay. Not intriguing, not suspenseful, not stuff where you go, what is going to happen? You go, all right, this is going to happen, and they'll probably go there and whatever.
Well, this is typical, though, where they're kind of on cruise control until we get to Survivor Series, pretty much. And then things will start to pick up a little bit, and then they really pick up come the Rumble.
Yeah.
And that's it. AEW is a different kind of situation where it's like they're trying to attract as many people as possible. So they have to be on the go. They have to be pushing it every show. And it shows, I think, in terms of what you get.
Big time. You know, being a consistent AEW fan is more rewarding than being a consistent WWE fan. It's rewarding to be a WWE fan between January 1st and, April, whatever, WrestleMania. Between January 1st and WrestleMania. After that, they kind of let you go. They're like, yeah, we're going to put on some stuff, but it's not going to be that great. We'll try again around SummerSlam, but just kind of halfway. Even SummerSlam this year was kind of...
I wasn't big on SummerSlam this year, sadly. They let me down. I mean, they tried, but they let me down.
They didn't do much.
I mean, on paper, it looked good. It just didn't deliver, sadly.
Mm-hmm. It really didn't deliver, right?
And this was a lot of the SummerSlam like rematch kind of stuff. This was a lot of fallout from SummerSlam. So when you don't start off great, and it's hard to come back with the revenge tour.
So we'll see where WWE goes right now, but I don't love it. Cody and Solo again at that Bad Blood. They got a month to build this thing. Let's see. And all this waiting around for Roman Reigns, like Roman showing up and then disappearing again. I don't love that either.
That's to be expected. I also expect a stipulation to be added to Cody and Solo. See, I would have done it where this match should have been the Bloodline rules match. But you've already done that match, so it's like, well, what the heck do you do now?
I think a triple threat with Kevin Owens would be better than just one-on-one.
I don't disagree with you. Maybe even throw Roman in there, but I doubt we'll get that.
That would be sick, but I don't think we're going to get that.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get that.
But I think Kevin being involved in that match is possible.
That'd be fun. Yeah, make it better for sure.
Given what we saw tonight with that match, I don't know if we're done with Kevin and Cody. I could see them wrestling again. So hopefully that's where we go for Bad Blood, and it's not Solo versus Cody one-on-one. Because I don't need to see that again, And then Roman comes in again and stops Solo again? That's just, we just saw that.
I wouldn't mind Cody versus Solo versus Randy. I think that could be pretty good.
Yeah. Either way, adding another person into the match would make it more interesting, right?
Well, definitely because of the three-way. Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. I think we need that right now.
Mm-hmm. How about Gunther?
What does he do next? It's tough to say. I would have thought Jey Uso. I thought Jey would have been coming up, but I think Jay's probably going to wrestle Braun Breaker because I think he's got a great shot of winning that tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, not him. Maybe Sammy, actually. Maybe they'll do Sammy right away. I think it's too soon to do Sammy, but they might do that.
I could see that. Sammy. At some point, CM Punk is going to come calling.
I hope that happens, to be honest. I don't know if it will happen, though. I think it's maybe too soon to do Punk and Gunther. But
yeah. But at some point, I think it's going to make a lot of sense. Johnny, we're being asked about something. NXT tomorrow. Do we have any thoughts on NXT? Joe Hendry is Doug Hepburn's son's favorite wrestler right now. I haven't seen much of him. I've seen little bits, but I haven't really taken a good look. NXT No Mercy tomorrow in Denver, Colorado. I don't have a ton of thoughts on this. Ethan Page defending the NXT title against Joe Hendry in the main event. Roxanne Perez against Jada Parker for the NXT Women's title. Oba Femi, the NXT North American champion, defending against Tony D'Angelo with, he's got a bunch of people with him. Not sure who they are. Kelani Jordan, the NXT Women's North American champion, defending against Wendy Chu. Chase University, the team of Andre Chase, and Ridge Holland. Oh, that's where Ridge Holland is. Versus Nathan Frazier and Axiom, a tag team title, NXT tag team title match. And Wes Lee versus Zachary Wentz one-on-one. I don't know any of these people. I mean, there are a few that I recognize, of course. Roxanne Perez, Ethan Page, Ridge Holland, but a lot of them couldn't pick them out of a lineup, John. I have no clue.
Well, Zachary Wentz, I believe he just recently won the TNA X Division title.
Okay. He did?
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah.
Didn't Mike Bailey just win that at the Montreal show in the summer, a couple months ago or something? A month ago?
And lost it.
Oh, man. Okay.
But I think it's because they want to showcase TNA because they knew he was going to be on the show, and TNA wanted to showcase their champion. So maybe not the best because their champion's more likely going to lose, but their philosophy is just showcase their champion, I guess. But that's going to happen. And I've seen a lot of hype for Joe Hendry. I know he won that number one contenders match. Pete Dunne was in the match that he won, I believe, to get that title shot. So there's a lot of hype behind him. And I know he came from TNA, but it feels like WWE pretty much is just taking him as their own right now. It feels like he's one of their guys now. He's still doing both shows, but WWE hypes the crap out of him right now. So it feels like they kind of stole him.
Yeah, good deal for them. They work with TNA.
Good for Hendry,
just
too.
Take anybody who gets over.
Yeah, just take what you want kind of thing. That's it.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Weird. Makes you wonder why.
Well, I think Ethan Page will retain, though. I don't think... Because, Joe's still doing TNA as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one day I could see Hendry being the champion, just not right now.
You think they're just paying TNA?
There's a working relationship. I mean, JBL apparently just showed up in TNA.
Yeah.
So...
He's managing Dolph Ziggler a little bit, right?
Something's going on with that, yeah, because I think he showed up with him in AAA as well, right?
Mm-hmm. JBL showed up in GCW.
Yep.
GCW?
He's getting out there.
Did I say that right?
I think you said that right. Game Changer Wrestling?
Yes. Okay. I thought I got the letters wrong. Yeah, JBL's been showing up in places. Not sure what that's about, but I like it. He looks cool.
I saw a pic of him he's working out at the gym, so working out, and maybe he's trying to get back into ring shape, have another run.
Ooh, JBL is all elite.
I don't know about that so much. I see more with WWE.
That'd be something.
I thought when he was Baron Corbin, I said he made Corbin great. Because I wanted to watch what was going on just because JBL was around.
Corbin is a jabroni when he's teaming up with Apollo Crews on SmackDown this week and losing to Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. When you lose to Garza and Carrillo, you are big-time jabroni.
Well, if you heard what the crowd was chanting against them, yes. I mean, it looked pretty bad. It sounded pretty bad. Well, in German, they were saying that...
I don't speak German, John. You speak German?
Well, thankfully other people do, and they translated it.
Other people speak German?
Yeah, other people do.
Crazy.
So thankfully on X, people translated it.
Oh.
And apparently you guys aren't very good. But the not very good part was a bit of a vulgar language. More like S word. That you guys are S. You guys are S.
Germans. So rude. They were chanting a bunch of stuff all show. I had no idea what the hell they were saying.
I heard the Gunther chants. I heard that.
They said Gunther.
I think they said Gunther, let's go Randy, Gunther.
Yeah, I understood that, but a
Yeah.
lot of it was German. They were singing songs. I was like, what is that? What are they saying?
Yeah, there was songs during the women's matches too. I was wondering, like, hopefully they're being tasteful with this.
Super chat.
You
I
never know.
understood when they were saying Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. I like that one. That's a good one. The Europeans do that. We should adopt that when Cody Rhodes wrestles. Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. It's good.
That's okay. I think the Tony Storm one sounds better, to be honest, though.
Where they just do the same tune, but with Tony Storm.
Yeah, it just sounds better.
Tony Storm. Pretty good.
That's not bad.
I like it. John, we'll be back on Friday to preview AEW's All Out, and then we'll be back next Saturday after All Out to recap All Out, to do one of these shows, except for AEW's All Out. So that'll be fun. Doug Hepburn dropping a super chat. He says, thank you for all your content, boys. MMA show, too. You guys are the best. Ringside Report Wrestling Uncensored for life. For life. Thank you, Doug. You're the super chat leader of the night. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Antoinette, for checking in. Member of the team, Antoinette, over at join.ringsidereport.net. Antoinette wants to know, anyone know when WrestleMania tickets go on sale? I have no idea. Antoinette wants to go to WrestleMania. Ooh, in Las Vegas, brother. That'll be fun.
Oh, we got an update coming in here.
What happened?
Big update.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, huge. So it's Cardinals 6, Yankees 5.
I know
Why
that.
not?
That happened before we even
Okay.
started the show. The Yankees lost.
Oh.
I know that. I watched the game, John. I was watching the game while I was watching the pay-per-view.
I
Chill.
wasn't. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, that's not a big update. Why don't you chill on all that? You fucking guy. Pendejo. John, that's it. Because of Johnny, I'm ending the show now. Because he's being rude to me. What a jerk.
Can
We'll
we
be
get,
back.
the sound effect?
What?
No? We don't get the sound effect like the Yankees lose. We don't get that.
No, I'll give you this.
Ball game over. Yankees win.
They don't.
Just pretend like they do.
Yankees win.
Feels better. Oh, yeah. That's nice. They didn't win, but, maybe they will tomorrow. They did yesterday, so that's good enough for me. You can't win them all. It's 162 games. There's no way to win them all. No one's ever done that or really come that close. Okay, we'll be back tomorrow. I mean, close is winning 100 games, right? That's unbelievable. So winning more than that is kind of nuts. So you're going to lose at least 60. Yankees are going to lose more than that this year. I don't think any team in baseball is going to win 100 games this year. It's a lot of parity in the game. Anybody can win on any given day. Johnny, it makes for a fun season, and the playoffs coming up in October will be very, very fun. Hopefully your team, the Red Sox, have a playoff spot for your sake. See, I'm nice to you, and you're a loser team, but you're disrespectful to me and my first place team, but that's okay.
Are they still first place after this? We'll check that after.
Well, we'll see what the Orioles do tonight.
Right.
I think, although I think they might have been up by 2. So if they're up by 1 currently. So they'll still be in first place. They may be tied for first place, but no matter what, even if the Orioles win tonight, they can only gain a game, and the Yankees will still be in first. So suck it.
Well, they lost first place overall, though. I think the Dodgers are first overall now, no?
In baseball? Like the best record?
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly. So what? Who cares? It's the National League. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, John. All right, we'll be back Friday, 10 p.m. after Smackdown. Smackdown in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. What wrestlers come from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, John? What famous wrestlers come from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada? I just can't come up with one. Weird. I know there's one. I don't know. Oh, well.
You don't really like talking about him anymore, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. People seem to not mention his name. I don't know. Who was the guy? Edmonton. He was like a Wolverine. He was rabid, you know? They were like, he's the rabid Wolverine, right? Wasn't there a guy like that?
Not Sammy Guevara or Brian Cage who did the cosplay Wolverine at All In.
Oh, I
That's
thought
not
they
what
did
you're-
a cosplay rabid Wolverine. I'm like, they're dressing up like Chris Benoit? That's terrible.
No, they did the yellow Wolverine outfit from Marvel and all that. Like, I don't know if you caught that. And they were in the ring against each other at All In, too.
Yeah. I didn't notice that. I don't care about cosplaying. It's nonsense. All right, so we'll be on Friday night, 10 p.m., right after SmackDown in Edmonton, home of Chris Benoit. And I'm sure they'll do a nice tribute video mentioning that, whenever they're in any town, they like to mention the history of the wrestling there and all the great wrestlers that come from there. I'm sure they'll talk about Chris Benoit and all the great things he did in the ring. We won't either. 10 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll do Wrestling Uncensored. We'll preview AEW's All Out, and then next Saturday after AEW All Out, we will recap the action with another post show here on the Ringside Report Network. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in this afternoon, and we'll see you again real soon here on the Ringside Report Network.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button, flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again next time, and have a good night.